What is good, everyone? We are live. Welcome into another edition of Major Push Wrestling Talk Show podcast. This is episode number 37. Thank you so much for watching, whether it is live or on demand. And if you are watching live, don't forget to use that free live chat feature. And you may just see your comment pulled up on screen and even addressed by our wonderful panelists here. Again, we are Major Push Wrestling, so I wanted to start with the video I got from Backlash. So let's check this out, everybody. All right, there it is. Your boy's first superstar entrance. Now, it's no fan zone or whatever they do in New York City Fanatics Fest. It's not that, but it definitely was very fun to do. I know Dave did one. I know Matthew did one. I know C-Rod did one. But speaking of the guys, we're going to go around here and do the little introductions here. So we've got Noah here. Noah, how you doing today?
Doing all right, Gino. Another day in paradise, as Phil Collins once wrote. Looking forward to AEW Dynamite tonight, and prior to that, supporting you at the Public Gino Network, discussing all sorts of fans wrestling. So, you know how I feel about these. You know I'm always ready to get right into it. So I'm looking forward towards what you have in mind. It's good to see you, gentlemen, since your Aftermath live experience at Backlash.
At Backlash. Yeah, I couldn't get the video of us all doing it while we were there on, but maybe if you guys stay tuned, we might be able to get that for you, if not next week. Dave is also with us. Dave was at Backlash. Dave, how you doing?
Doing great, Gino. As I said when we were on the review Tuesday night, I finally got my voice back. For 2 days, I could barely talk because me and Matthew and you and C-Rob were yelling at the top of our lungs with all the entrances and whoop that trick.
Yes, sir. Dave, we had a little bit of a delay on your mic that wasn't there in the pre-show, so we will monitor that for sure. We've got Mr. Nibbles in the chat, says hi, welcome in. We've got Matthew here as well. Matthew, how you doing today?
All right. I mean, you guys know that I kind of dealt with some problems after Backlash, but, I'm working that out. But, it was a great weekend. It was fun to, hang out with you and C-Rod again, meet Dave for the first time, and hopefully we can do it again soon and maybe even plan out more of a day where we can just hang out, play some games or something, because I know that was something we talked about, but we never really got to. But I'm excited to talk about a bit of what we experienced and a couple of the other topics tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure you want to get back in the ring, WWE 2K, as I beat you and Dave in a triple threat match using Mr. Whoop That, who was an 80 overall. Now, speaking of much higher than 80 overall, we have Oofman here. Oofman making this all possible through his StreamYard account. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Oofman, how you doing today?
Doing all right. Yeah, let me know when that hangout date is. I'll fly to Tampa. It's all good. I have friends in Florida. Would be honored to meet all you guys in person. But yeah, excited to talk about the topic. So let's get it on.
Let's get it on indeed. So we have this here showing, where do we got here? We'll remove that. We've got this is our topics for today. This is what our thumbnail is. So we will be doing the best thing about Backlash and your favorite wrestling reveal. So we've got all the guys. While Dave figures out his technical issues, winning the Virtue Award, this man is basically sweeping the Virtue Awards. No doubt. So we'll see what's going on with him. Maybe he enters from a new device.
Will it get renamed to the Dave Award?
I mean, you'll have to ask Virtue about that. But here we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Also, do not forget to like and subscribe. It is fun and it is free. So we've got a good show for you guys today. As I mentioned, we've we're going to be talking about the best thing at Backlash. There's been a lot of backlash with the show, and it's been talked about ad nauseum. So I want to hear some of the good. I want to hear the good about Backlash and the good about wrestling. So I'm going to throw it right over to Noah. Noah, you were watching Backlash on TV, so you weren't there in person, so you got that different experience. But what would you say is the best thing about Backlash?
Definitely as a Shinyan Pro Wrestling fan and Japanese strong style, looking at the tale of the strongest spirits, it was definitely Kana and Io Shirai picking up as Asuka and Io Sky. It was the best match of the night. The stories of the WWE ecosystem aside, it was the most competitively fought, even base-to-base match of the entire night. And I love the idea of how much the student was disciplined by the teacher to surpass her master and humble her in defeat. For me, it was definitely Asuka and Io Sky, hands down. And again, kudos to them bringing the crowd back into things where some might have been disconnected from previous events, or some might be disconnected just in general when they figure about what is WWE and wrestling in the same sentence. For me, Asuka and Io Sky saved Backlash for me when it came to a competitive pro wrestling contest that were the strongest and the smartest. Spirit won. So it was definitely that match for me, hands down.
All right. Thank you very much, Noah. Yeah, Noah's really, if you guys don't know, you should, but he's well versed in all of the wrestling that there is. I don't think my man has any time to watch anything else but wrestling, but that's not a problem because he freaking loves it. So you'll hear how much at the end of the stream. So stay tuned for that. Yes. So thank you so much, Noah. So the Io and Asuka and the story told in the ring, and then we know what happened afterwards. There was talk in the arena that she was retiring after the match. So I don't know if that got to the television audience while you guys were watching, but it became, super crystal clear at the end of that match. I'm really glad that as the person who was chanting, "No, we don't," in response to "We want Kyrie," I'm glad it was just a straightforward type of situation, which, these shenanigans that we sometimes get can be a little overbooked. Right now, we're going to throw it over to Matthew. Matthew was there. Matthew, what was the best thing about Backlash to you? And have you watched it Backlash?
I haven't had a chance to watch it back, namely because I've been dealing with all my car problems, but I digress. Two things really for me were the best. One, of course, just hanging out with you guys the whole weekend. That was worth the trip, worth the aftermath. Getting to just hang out, have some good food, do the championship thing, just have fun, going at Backlash, meeting Seth and Becky at that coffee shop. All that was just worth the price of admission itself. And for if there's a particular match, I have to agree with Noah. It was the Asuka Io match. That was the match I was looking forward to the most. That was match of the night for me. And the fact that they managed to overcome so much, because again, this was a match that should have been at Mania.
Facts.
Suffered because of the Kyrie situation, whether she was supposed to be a primary part of it or not, and then had to overcome the lackluster Danhausen reveal and bring the crowd back, and they managed to do all of that and more. And I'm still on the fence that Asuka isn't done. She's just taking some time off, and we will see her again, because if she was going to retire, they need to give her a proper send-off, because she is without a doubt probably the most dominant and most well-received women's wrestler of this era. And I put her on a pedestal above even the Four Horsemen as probably the greatest women's wrestler of the current era of wrestling, and she deserves that moment. But yeah, just overall, just getting to be with you guys and that match in particular.
Absolutely. Now, I totally get that. Now, Noah's the wrestling historian, so he will correct me when I say something that is incorrect. But from what I understand, Asuka was not even close to as dominant on the main roster as she was in NXT. And it really all started with that WrestleMania loss to Charlotte. That's really the last thing she has left on her resume to accomplish is a win at WrestleMania, when it's kind of crazy thinking that she was undefeated for so long and then hasn't won a match at WrestleMania. I'm just glad that Io's still in the company. Thank you, Noah, for verifying that. I'm just glad Io's still in the company so Rhea can get a dang win over her, because if Io had left the company or was doing something, then Rhea goes over against her, and like that, that's shocking to me because Rhea's obviously Rhea Ripley. So thank you so much, Matthew. So we got 2 Asuka versus Io as the best thing at Backlash. Let's see if we can make that 3-4-3. And Uthman, I was kind of hoping that might have been the area code for where you live in Jersey. I know it's not, because Liv Morgan has her shirt that actually does have the area code on that. Gabby's here. Thank you so much, Gabby. How you doing? Appreciate you. We're going to throw it over to Uthman now. Uthman, what was the best thing about Backlash?
Well, my area code's 201, so shout out to the 201 in Jersey. Hey. We're going 3 for 3. It was Asuka and Io. And again, I'm really hoping after her release, WWE contacted Kyrie and said, drove a dump truck full of money to her house, begged her to come back for one night only. And I really, really hope that Kyrie said, take a walk, because why release her? I've been yakking about it, gabbing about it everywhere. If they were going to release Kyrie, which still would have been a bummer, and they weren't going to have the match at Mania or even at Backlash, then have it at the Raw or SmackDown for the go-home shows. Let Mania happen and then release her. We'd all still be bummed and confused, like, why Kyrie? But at least it was about the payoff, because even though as great as that match was on Saturday, it was missing Kyrie. She could have been a special ref. She could have been confused. Do I help Asuka? Do I help Io? It would have just added more fuel to the fire, so to speak. You guys would probably be losing your mind sitting there. I know I was enjoying it at home, and I'm like, all right, the match was really, really good, but something was missing, something was off, and it was that. But they still delivered a great match, the best match of the night in my opinion. So that was one thing I was excited about. And another thing that I was happy about was the not so many logos on the ring. At Mania, it was like overkill with 75,000 logos on the ring, on the belt buckles, ringside. Now they just had, I believe it was the WWE logo smack dab in the center and the Riyadh season in the 4 corners, and that was it. So I was like, whew, all right. No sensory overload on logos this time. So I don't know if Mark, the COO, Mark, whatever his last name is of TKO, he says that, they are checking statistics, blah, 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 blah. They're going to cool it here and cool it there. Maybe they're like, all right, it's a B pay-per-view. Let's chill with the logos. But then maybe come SummerSlam, the ring is going to be loaded again with the mat loaded with logos. Who knows? But I actually enjoyed it. I'm like, all right, the WWE logo, all right, that's cool. It's the company. It's not the Prime logo. I just think I haven't tried Prime. I have a bunch of friends that say Prime is good. Some say Prime stinks. So it was good not to see the Prime logo, but it was just awesome not to see so many logos. Don't get me wrong. I love Angry Orchard. Green Apple is my favorite cider of them, but I don't need to see the logo while someone's bleeding in the ring. So no, thank you. So the 2 things I enjoyed from Backlash, Io and Asuka, and very little ads on the ring side. Yes, we still had the ad breaks during the show, but not that many tattoos all over the ring. So it was a welcome pace. Hopefully if we can go 2 for 2 in Clash in Italy, maybe they'll relax it again. And then I'm just predicting, maybe because it is 2 nights at the SummerSlam, shout out to Brett, maybe that's when the mats will be thrown up all over the place with logos. So as of now, I'll take what we can get right now.
Absolutely. And we also have to remember that, these companies got to pay for these logos to be on there. It's not like WWE is asking
understandable
people,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So maybe, like you said, it's a not WrestleMania tier pay-per-view. So WrestleMania is going to have the most wrestling eyes on it. So there's probably more sponsors that want to get in, kind of like the Super Bowl. Now, speaking of wanting to get in, Return of the Mac, Dave Scheffler is here. Let's see if he can hear us. And Dave, how you doing?
We're live, baby.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm still having some issues. So
The
hello,
delay
hello.
is palpable. Yes, we can hear you, but
Hello?
there is a delay. We'll try and fix that. I might have to hit you with the mute hammer here in a second.
I hear
if
you.
that
I hear
delay
him great.
continues.
He comes out great at my end. I don't know how it is with everybody else.
On time. Interesting. So we'll have to see. Dave, if you still can hear me, what was the best thing about Backlash to you? Yeah, there's definitely the delay. So we've got Dwayne Atkinson here in the chat. Shout out to Dwayne, one of the 4 horsemen of No DQ Florida. Evening, friends. I guess HHH is going to Triple H. Excuse me. It's going to start PLEs at 6 now.
Can you hear me
First
now,
Mania.
Gino?
Yes, we can. First Mania, then Backlash is going to be a new thing. I think this is TKO and not Triple H because they're always going to be doing these events on the same night as a UFC event. And that's, I guess, cost-cutting measures. I'm not really sure what the heck's going on with that. I guess if Dodge or Ram pays for the night, they get them for 2 nights, but then they can sell more advertising space. I don't know. But, there's definitely some business savvy people making those decisions, whether I think
I'm gonna enjoy my Pepsi right now.
Yes, just be careful the pyro doesn't go off and you get that curse a la Michael Jackson, a la Danhausen. Now, Dave, I will throw it over to you one last time, and if we can't make it work, we might just have to say la vie. But what is the best thing about Backlash to you?
Well, I'm going to try this one more time. If not, I could try my laptop. But the best thing about Backlash was the atmosphere. The crowd was rocking. We were as loud as any crowd I've heard in a while. And I think they talked about match quality on the review, and a lot of the people speaking about it. To me, everything was fun to me. Even the Danhausen thing, as silly as the reveal was, kind of was a fun match, but I enjoyed myself. And like you had said about me, Matthew, and you and C-Rod, we were downtown in Tampa the whole day and night, and we had a blast.
Yes, we did. We got some photos up on the screen. That's all of us with Becky and Seth. Great people for sure. And then the night before, we were at Funny Bone, hanging out with CVV, doing his live show with Joe Hendry. And that episode will be out in probably in like a week or 2. So go check it out. He's one of the best in the business at doing those interviews. But yeah, we had a blast. And it was definitely, here's that You Are Cursed Tampa shirt. See, I wanted a You Are Cursed shirt, but we're cursing the city that we live in. So to me, that just didn't make much sense to me. And then the shirts are a little bit pricier because then they got to put the local thing there and it costs them more money. So there was that debate going on. It's airing tomorrow. Dwayne says, thank you, Dwayne, for that. So we'll see that. And you will hear Joe Hendry point right to me when he says that guy has my song on his playlist. And that was a little bit of my claim to fame there. So with that down, for me, being at Backlash, this was our seat. I had it on 0.5 camera, so it actually felt like we were closer than this. This is just, I tried to get as many people as possible in the shot. And it was an awesome event to be at, and the whole experience of being there, seeing the pre-show, the post-show, high-fiving the Usos, meeting back. It was just a lot of fun. But when it comes down to the event, we all know the true greatest moment, the best moment at Backlash, and that was John Cena's appearance, obviously. Shout out to everybody's faces. Let's see who took the bait on that. So As a John Cena fan, I was very happy to be able to see him. Now, the announcement was great in the fact that it wasn't about Club WWE. That alone made it worth it to me. But as far as the show goes, to me, I really enjoyed the Io and Asuka match. That shot of her blocking the mist with Michael Cole's portfolio or Wade Barrett's portfolio, or that's one of those things that you will see in like video packages moving forward and things like that. It was creative. It was well timed. It was fantastic. That one is super memorable to me.
Unless Asuka goes somewhere that we can't mention. Just saying.
I hate it, but that's also why the WWE logo is in the front, is in the ring now, because when you do have a rival promotion that you do want to let people know if they're watching something or coming across it or seeing it in passing, what company is putting on that event. We have Aiden in the chat. Welcome in, Aiden. Thank you so much. He's saying Roman Reigns. I mean, acknowledging our tribal chief was absolutely fantastic. It will always be fantastic. Our tribal chief and those dueling chants between Jacob Fatu and the OTC was very fun. And again, thank you to everybody watching, whether live and on demand. Do not forget to like and subscribe. It's fun and it's free. So with that down, we are going to move on here to our major topic of the evening. Speaking of Backlash, Matthew had mentioned Danhausen and his mystery partner reveal and how that sucked the life out of me for sure and a lot of the arena. And then they had the opportunity to redeem themselves. And I for sure was like, here we go. We're going to have CM Punk's music hit, blah, 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 blah. And no, it was more Minniehausens, which objectively was entertaining. The kids there loved it. But as far as mystery reveals go, they just need to get rid of that box, I think. Because even Danhausen's reveal was underwhelming. He's done great since then, for sure. But I want to know from our panelists, a lot of diehard wrestling fans on this panel, people have been watching wrestling maybe longer than I've been alive. So they've got a wealth of knowledge. So we will see here what they have to say. What is your favorite wrestling mystery reveal? It can be in any organization, any company, anything is on the table here. And I'm going to start with this one. And mine is way back in 2011, folks, the big mystery reveal, who was going to be the host for WrestleMania 27. It was on Valentine's Day. And a lot of people were out to dinner. A lot of people were with their girlfriends or their boyfriends, because wrestling isn't just exclusively for men. But back in 2011, this broke the wrestling internet because it was like history making. They announced it. The lights went down. It was a super delay. And then, if you smell, and The Rock came out in his Just Bring It gear to be the host of WrestleMania 27. He ruined so many Valentine's Days for many of the people's partners who don't watch wrestling, because back in 2011, kids, this was something that we didn't really have a lot of social media. It was people texting. Everybody was texting each other's friends, or you heard it on Google or something, and everybody went to tune into the TV to see what was going on. This might have been one of the last times, truthfully, in wrestling that people who might not have been watching would have decided to tune in. Now, that's just for me. That's my opinion. There's a lot of choices to have. So I'm very curious to see what our panelists have to say. Again, it led to the WrestleMania 28, once in a lifetime, even though it came twice in a lifetime. But I was at WrestleMania 28 because of this. This honestly kind of got me back into wrestling. Nobody thought The Rock would ever come back. He was doing stuff in Hollywood, and it was We got Good Guy Rock doing his shtick that we all love, the Just Bring It, Team Bring It, all that stuff. Legendary. But I'm sure we've got some more. So I'm going to throw it over to Oofman to start this topic. Oofman, what is your favorite wrestling reveal? And now it sounds like a fan is on or something in the background. We're live, pal.
We're live. Also, to add to your thing, don't forget the segment before The Rock actually showed up. They showed a woman getting out of a limo. That threw everybody off. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I do, because I'm sitting there going like, who the heck is that? Of course, they showed her feet, so it's like, right? And then JR, I think, was losing on commentary. Then the arena went off. They turned the lights off in the arena, and then the electricity on the Titantron should have given away, but I was still sitting there going like, who's going to... Oh, it's The Rock. So that was cool. So, yeah, it was a cool moment. I was struggling when I was coming home from work. This favorite wrestling mystery reveal, I couldn't really think of one. I mean, I was talking backstage with Matthew on that. I'm gonna pick an easy one. I mean, it was a debut, but it got mentioned a lot, and I think everybody probably agrees with me on Kane. That was a mystery. We were all wondering when the story happened, when Taker threw the fireball on Paul Bear's face, and he didn't wear makeup for the first time. They were mentioning Kane. And what just showing how old I am, back in 97. So I just remember they stopped mentioning Kane a little bit before the Hell in a Cell match. He kind of like got forgotten because it was mostly Paul Bear and Taker. And then that night, lights go out, the organ hits, and you got to give it to him. Vince's classic call, that's gotta be Kane. Coming down, breaking the steel doors out of the cage, going inside. I again, shout out to my good friend Keith. I went to his house every pay-per-view during that time. Both of us were sitting there with our jaws dropped, so that was kind of cool to reveal, to finally see who this Kane guy was. And look at that, how many years he was in the company. So I guess I want to say that's an easy one. That was a cheat for best reveal. Another reveal that I actually do like, as you know, I am the belt guy, was actually after WrestleMania 18 when I sat down going, all right, it's a brand new episode of Raw. What's going to happen? We saw the GM at the time, Nature Boy Ric Flair, holding this bad boy, revealing the brand new undisputed title. Now, if you remember, Chris Jericho, he unified the two belts, the Big Eagle and the Big Gold, who's behind me. I'm told he beat Stone Cold and The Rock at the same time on one night. It's too bad that he didn't mention that during his promos. But anyway, he beat The Rock, Stone Cold, united the belts. And then what's funny, a funny story from his second book. I highly recommend Jericho's books to anybody who likes wrestling or just biographies. He mentions a story the night that he won both titles. It was late. He ordered a pizza, but he had to go to the main lobby to go get it. He forgot his hotel key in his room. And so when he went back to the front desk to get an extra, the front desk clerk was giving him 60,000 questions to prove that it's his room. And in the book, Jericho says, the guy asked him, can you describe what's in your room? And Jericho's like, yeah, on the bed is a suitcase and 2 effing title belts. And it's just a funny story. So what I like about the undisputed title was it was a brand new belt, as the belt guy that I am. And I felt sorry for Jericho. He had to carry those 2 belts out, and then Triple H was awarded this guy. And when I think of this belt, I think of the great, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero when the version 2 came out. So I like this reveal. It was, again, I'm a mark for the Winged Eagle. That's the greatest wrestling belt in the history of wrestling. Hashtag change my mind. Hashtag you won't be able to. The Big Eagle was gorgeous as well. But when this guy came out, it was a beautiful reveal. And I was like, wow, that belt does look small, but it just looks cool. It was black and gold. So that's what I love about it. So this is a cool reveal, getting a brand new belt. Anytime there's a brand new belt, I'll mark out of it. But when I saw this and gave it to Triple's, like, all right, we got a brand new belt and it looks pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. Black and gold on it. WWF on it. And then we know a couple years later, the next year it turned to E, but that's cool. So those are my 2. Matthew mentioned another one, but if he's going to, I'm not going to share that answer.
Yeah, let's not take them all from everybody.
Share what we were talking about. Yeah, I'm not taking all of everybody. So
yeah, a funny story about that belt is Hulk Hogan was holding it when it went from WWF to WWE. So he was the last ever WWF champion and the first ever.
Yeah.
WWE champion.
It's poetic justice that he of all people, Hogan, be the last known WWF champion. It was meant to be. I'm cool with that. Should have been Brett, but whatever. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to have to debate who's better, Brett or Cena, sometime down the line. Now, the wrestling historian here, Noah Foster, does great work, and he'll give his plugs at the end. Don't forget to go give his stuff a watch and a subscribe. But Noah, I'm sure you've got a bunch going through your mind, or maybe one in particular that stood out to you. What is your favorite wrestling mystery reveal of all time?
I mean, to put a status quo of all time, you'd be here all night if you look at companies, moments, and the importance of the moment, whether or not what it led to or whether or not what it felt like to you as a fan. I mean, I look at New Japan Pro Wrestling when Chris Jericho first showed up and attacked Kenny Omega. I was like, what the eep? When I go fast forward the clock and I look at the alternative pro wrestling that was created with AEW and seeing Double or Nothing 2019 ending with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega revisiting Wrestle Kingdom. And then Jon Moxley shows up of all things and brings a paradigm shift to the business that still felt today. Another one, though, for me, though, as a wrestling historian, especially about the pure wrestling background, Emmerich of Honor, was seeing Manager McGuinness return back to the ring in the UK. For me, Casino Gauntlets at times have been giving me some of my favorite moments, whether or not it's Megan Bayne returning from stardom and being the dominant Amazonian that she is, one half of the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, or whether or not it was Nigel McGuinness putting the boots back up, where I thought he literally took his arm out of his socket and the business broke his body and spirit back in 2011. The fact that he's going to fight under pure rules because he still has hopes to be the Real Pure champion again as a Ring of Honor historian of him and Bryan Danielson really brings warmness to my heart. And as far as women's wrestling goes, I mean, again, like I said, she was the only woman in the Divas era. Call him the king of pops you want, not named Michael Jackson, but AJ Lee will stand a testament of time for me to see that young lady skipping down the ring in her Chuck Taylors, punching Becky Lynch in the face. And whether or not it was just for a short little fair way to say thank you for not forgetting about me, even though right now this may be it, but for now, I'll say see you later. AJ Lee's return will stand a testament of time for me as a professional wrestling fan and looking at alternatives of the business versus models on a cover with plastic tits and blue eyes and blonde hair extensions. So, yeah, there's a number of them out there. You can pretty much name one for any company. NXT, Shinsuke Nakamura, he came to WWE and defined what strong style could be under the black and gold, taking on Sami Zayn NXT TakeOver Dallas. So there's a number, and I think that's the beauty. You can't say greatest of all time. It's really measured not by what you hear, but what you feel. And I feel like you can feel something major out of any business with a big return that you don't expect or a return you're hoping one day to see again.
Yes, thank you very much, Noah. That's kind of why I tried to put it as the favorite moment instead of maybe necessarily the best, because that's so subjective. But when you say favorite, that means, how it affected you. And that's why, maybe the Rock's one isn't the best, type of thing. But to me, that just affected me. And obviously those debuts for you, the Alpha and Omega feud in New Japan was top tier. Like, that's like really the only stuff I've watched from over there. I know it's two Canadians going at it, but it was so legendary. I mean, the Chris Jericho taking the big camera over his shoulder and doing all that, it was just so good. And then a lot of the stuff that debuted in NXT, especially during your NXT Black and Gold. Speaking of Black and Gold, we got a lot of good things. And there's still a lot of those people making waves in the WWE and not so much NXT anymore, in the WWE and AEW now. So, the Undisputed Era, I mean, like...
So I'll say Adam Cole is my favorite then, since you did ask for a favorite, because once NXT became Undisputed, there was no stopping that brand. 8 shows, TakeOver was the form of professional wrestling event, damn it. And the Black Gold NXT told Raw and SmackDown to suck it.
Mm-hmm. And Adam Cole, baby. He I believe he wrestled twice in one night, and I think that's the last time that was done. Didn't he wrestle once on an NXT takeover that aired prior to the event? Something like that, if I'm remembering correctly.
Actually, it was 2 matches in one night as well. He worked double duty, became the inaugural NXT North American champion, and also winning the Dusty Rhodes tag team class that night. And also in one weekend, he wrestled twice, lest we forget, when it was Survivor Series 2019 and defending the title against Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. Hell, he was on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT all in 1 week. And the takeover following and Survivor Series, all 5 shows in a single week. Adam Cole.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Noah, our wrestling historian. We've got Dwayne in the chat. Eric Bischoff becoming Raw GM after losing the Monday Night Wars. That was crazy. And I don't want to keep showing all these because maybe I don't want to take away the spotlight from the 2 guys who haven't gone. So we're going to go to Dave now.
I was there for that one. Monday Night
that
Raw.
Must have blown
Continental
your
Airlines
mind.
Arena. We were all, it's fair to say, all 18,000 of us, we were all Booker T. I don't know if it's on Netflix or if you could find that clip when Booker T's being interviewed in the back and he stops, then the camera pans, I think, to the left, and Eric, you'll hear us go, oh, all of us. Again, shout out to my good friend Keith. We all lost our minds. And then they cut to commercial. The arena was buzzing. Little Continental Airlines, we were buzzing. Vince McMahon comes out, and then when we heard "I'm back," the holy S chant, we were screaming it, and then we booed him.
Yeah. I wasn't really a WCW guy, but Eric Bischoff really, even I knew the weight of what was going on. So Dave, what is your favorite wrestling mystery reveal, and why is it Dan Minihausen at Backlash?
No. I have 3 of them, Gino, and being the old man on the panel, 2 of them are older. One's was not far from you. Were very young when it happened.
We'll pick one so we don't
that,
take Matthews, and then we'll come back to you after.
All right, that's fine. The one that I'll name is November 22nd, 1990, Survivor Series, when it was revealed by the $1 Million Man, who their last partner was in Survivor Series, and Brother Love brought out The Undertaker.
Okay.
That is my all-time favorite, going back to when I was a youngster still.
1990, the year I was born. So if that makes you feel good about that.
That is correct. You were a young pup yourself.
I didn't even have my legs under me yet. All right, thank you, Dave. So we're going to throw it now over to Matthew's forehead over here. And there he is at Backlash. And Matthew, what is your favorite mystery reveal in wrestling?
Well, I kind of have 2. One is older, the other's more current. The first one, of course, will always, I think, besides the one that Uthman mentioned, which was it's got to be Kane, I think Hogan becoming the 3rd man is still probably one of the most impactful reveals of all time. Seeing it, on TV during the, what in many ways started the Monday Night War, what put WCW in competition with the WWE, that can never be denied. And then for me, it would have to be Royal Rumble 2020, even though we don't want to talk about the rest of that year, number 21, and hearing "You Think You Know Me," and Edge making his long-awaited return. Edge has always been one of my favorite character wrestlers. Metal Ingots, I think, is one of the top 3 themes in all of wrestling. And seeing him come out, almost breaking character because of just the emotion and the impact of being there with a crowd. Sadly, it would be one of the last crowds we'd actually see for a while. But getting to see him there in the ring, and it was phenomenal. Even if Bucky Beaver missed his first spear that he hits in not almost 10 years. But yeah, for me, it's Hogan being revealed to be the 3rd man, and then the return of Edge.
It's funny that you mentioned that because Dwayne also mentioned Hogan being the 3rd guy. I mean, that's all time. Like, it was, we knew a 3rd guy was coming, and then it being Hogan, nobody thought, at that time, it was unthinkable that he would be coming out to do anything other than be the savior, babyface savior. So, but you mentioned the Royal Rumble. Like, there are so many Royal Rumble moments. That's why it's my favorite event of the year, because of stuff like that, right? And it's not just a Kevin Nash coming down for a one-off. It was Edge was back, like back wrestling, and that's still. If I need a pick me up, I'll go to YouTube and I'll search that, and that is just one of the greatest, most shocking things that I've seen in wrestling, and like as a feel good thing, right? I know, and Dave has a few more maybe to present before we wrap it up, and maybe go over some auxiliary ones that we had on our mind, but we had to pick one. So, Dave, what were your other two?
Well, I have two more because Matthew, the two he said, I'm glad you left it for him because it was Hogan's Real Deal and Edge. But I do have two others. One was in 1999, Raw's War. We have been seeing little countdowns until then, and it was the countdown in Chris Jericho joining WWE when we first got the clock, the countdown. The other one was 2016. You're mentioning Royal Rumbles. 2016, AJ Styles. Those are my other two.
Well, thank you very much for that. You know, that's those are also great as well. The Jericho one with the countdown to the millennia, and then there's really no better debut when you're coming into a new company than being able to go toe to toe with The Rock. And that's like, tell me the company has trust in you without telling me the company has trust in you. So thank you so much for that. We have the Eric Bischoff was mentioned by Dwayne. We had the NWO mentioned. Now, does anybody have any others that weren't mentioned that they'd like to make sure get addressed on the show? All right, then. So if they come to your mind, great. If not, no worries. This whole discussion was sparked from my displeasure with the Danhausen mystery reveal. And Dwayne Atkinson is mentioning Survivor Series 2014, the unexpected debut of Sting. That was also an all-time, because he was never going to go to WWE. He was always the best wrestler to never wrestle with WWE. And now I believe that belongs to Omega or Ospreay at this point. Noah can, I'm sure, correct me on that. But at that point, it was crazy. Now, the way they handled his WWE run, legendarily poor. But having said that, we still got to see Sting. And I actually was at a show where I got to see Sting in the WWE, which was all-time, one of those things, especially as a guy who didn't really watch WCW but grew up playing the game, and seeing a character that I always chose in front of me in real life, like, that was super surreal. Now, obviously, grew up playing other games. We had Brock Lesnar's of the world and things like that, but very, very, very entertaining. So whatever you guys think, whether you're watching along live or in the comments section, watching on demand, share with us what your favorite moment of mystery reveal was and the best thing about Backlash from this past weekend, Saturday. And I just wanted to say, I've mentioned it on our videos that we've done over the week, Noah and I's Prediction League breakdown, and then again on the review last night. But if you're going to pay money to go to one of these events, especially a premium live event, like, don't just arrive at showtime or 30 minutes prior. Like, go early, spend some time, maybe grab a bite to eat or a drink or four like I did, and enjoy the pre-show, enjoy the post-show, enjoy being around a bunch of people in real life who like wrestling. Because right now, we're here virtually with each other, but being around a group of people who all enjoy the same thing as you it's very rare. You can go to a sporting event and half them are rooting for the other team. You could go to a movie and maybe some people are there just because they got dragged there, right? Nobody's getting dragged to a wrestling event that doesn't want to be there. It's kind of like a Comic-Con or any convention of any of your I almost said kink of choice, but any of your, fandom of choice, and just enjoy being around people who enjoy something that you love, because it's all too rare in this world to have shared experiences where a bunch of people are fans. Now, obviously, I can like OTC, you could like Fatu, whatever, but we're here because we love wrestling, and that's an underlying thing. Now, thank you so much to everybody that was watching. Thank you so much to everybody who is here on the panel. We're going to go around and do our plugs here. I'm going to start off with Dave.
Well, thank you again, Gino, for having me. What a great weekend, and get to share the memories with everybody. I don't know how the words can't express about how I feel about my friendships with all of you. And I just appreciate it every day, and appreciate getting to be a part of this. And everybody like, share, subscribe to Gino, to Noah, to No DQ. What fine organizations who give us wrestlers a place to talk. And Gino is totally right. It was weird being in one place where everybody loved wrestling, which was pretty cool. And again, thank you, and look forward to the next episode. And thank you again, guys. Have a great evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dave. Matthew, where can the people find you?
I mean, you can find me on Facebook, and then, usually find me on No DQ, find me here on, Wednesdays. And, just look, Dave said it, most of what I have to say, just grateful to have a community that has welcomed me, that, we can agree to disagree, but we always have a good time. And then to actually get to meet you guys and have a great weekend, and hopefully we can do it again, and our little group will get bigger. One day all 4 of the 4 horsemen of Florida will show up. One day Uthman will be there, maybe Aaron will be there. Who knows? We might even get Noah to show up too. But it's a great thing to love wrestling, whether you are a WWE fan, an AEW fan, whatever. And I am glad to be part of this family that we've created.
Yes, thank you so much. And again, shout out to Aaron Rift at nodq.com. Go ahead and check out the content he does. You see a lot of these handsome devils here on his No DQ review every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Now, we're going to throw it over to Noah. Noah, thank you so much for joining us. You're an absolute pleasure to be working with, and I always enjoy getting to talk wrestling with you. Where can the people find you?
It's always a pleasure, Gino and fam. And again, folks, I'm not really social, but find me if you choose at Foster1916 on the X and on YouTube. I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. As you saw with that graphic, we do Predictions League Breakdown as a collab across the men's brand and the Papa Gino Network. I host Saturday Shenanigans at times with the Super Liable Studios family. And you can find me once in a while so predicting or doing commentary for the biggest shows across WWE, TNA, AEW, and so much more. But as always, let me conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans' own opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another and respect each other and protect your mentality too. Trust your families, just your life, and enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. And I'll see you next time in and out of No DQ and YouTube.
Absolutely. And those Prediction League breakdowns, they appear every single Monday after a major WWE or AEW pay-per-view premium live event wrestling show. So thank you so much, Noah. And, I want to throw now over to Uthman. We could not be able to do this live without Uthman. So, Uthman, thank you so much for allowing me to use your StreamYard. And shout out to the belt collector. Mercedes Monet will be coming to your house a la LA Knight and I Show Speed. So we'll see how that goes.
I
and
welcome it.
where can the people find you?
Well, again, Gino, thank you for having me on your show. And yes, you can find me right there on my channel, Oofman Entertainment presents Gavin with Oof. I say it a lot of times. When Gino goes on a rage, I pop the popcorn, I sit down, and I enjoy it. Episode 21, Gino gave me his thoughts on the Michael movie. On episode 20, I spoke about the Michael movie, but Gino said he wants to get something off his chest. He wants to rip his sleeves off. I'm like, go at it, bro. So episode 21 is really Gino going off on the Michael critics, where both of us addressed the critics of the movie, where they were asking for some ridiculous things. And speaking of what Matthew said about one of the shocking surprises, next week, one of the future episodes on Gavin and Oof, to just show you how old I am as well. Next week, it'll be 30 years since Scott Hall returned to Nitro, walked down the stairs, jumped into the ring, and declared war. War on who? Well, we're going to discuss it in a 3-part series. Part 1 is next week to air on the exact same day, May 23rd, 1996. Yes, 30 years ago when Scott Hall returned, and this was starting. It just started, and then he ended it saying that next time he'll have a big surprise. So it'll be part 1 of a 3-part series of the NWO for life. But again, thank you again, Gino, for having me on your show, seeing all you guys as well. And yes, one day I'll make the trek to Tampa. I have friends in Tampa. I love Florida. I have an uncle in Miami. And one day let's get together and talk wrestling or make a video. It'd be cool if we did an awesome live video, all of us together. Let's super chat Aaron one night and see if we can get him a plane ticket to Tampa. And it'd be cool. It would be cool to get all of us the most we can together and do a live episode, whether Gino's show, my show, or Aaron's show. It would be awesome. Well, let's break the internet all together, I say. But again, thank you again for having me, and it's always great to see all you guys.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Yes, Dave.
I just want to say one more thing. I'm sorry I left Oofman out about watching his channel because he does a great job with everything he does, and I definitely am going to be a part of his NWO 3-part series because we're the old guys of the crew, and we remember everything from the start to the finish of the NWO. So I'm looking forward to that definitely. And I already told Aaron, I said we need to make Psycho Jet Black's minimum super chat $20 a chat, so he could come down to Florida. So,
yeah, and for those that don't know, go check out Aaron Riff's his channel, No DQ, on YouTube. Yeah, and so yeah, I just wanted to thank all of you guys for coming in here and helping us discuss these wonderful things that we like in wrestling. There it is. So this has been Major Push Wrestling, episode 38.
Look at that handsome devil on the bottom there.
Your host. And damn, I missed the Wrestle Talk. Me. Yeah, we are closing down the shop right now. We are going home, as it were. So feel free to hit that rewind button. And don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. It means a lot and allows us to have this information and these types of conversations with people coming out to the world. And we greatly appreciate it. So again, we talked about the favorite thing about Backlash, or the best thing about Backlash, and the favorite wrestling reveal. Don't forget to leave your comment, and we will interact with all of those. I'm going to leave you guys with a few of these pictures here. You know, we got the boys, we got the girls, we got the say his name, don't you dare. It was weird being in the same room, knowing that if we did say his name, he literally would appear. So that was a fun moment. Again, our shot
did anybody
from there.
Anybody say his name?
No, CVV was not saying his name until we did until he did the intro. So, yeah, I don't have the picture I had with Gia Miller up here, but I'm gonna leave you guys with this, and this is why
he did sing the Fire Logan Paul song though.
He did. We loved it. He brought his guitar out and everything. It was a nice white guitar. It was like stallion. But so I'm gonna leave you guys with this. The video that I took doing the entrance in the outside area of Backlash. This is why I recommend you go to these events earlier rather than later. If you're willing to buy the ticket, at least get your money's worth and do these things. I was on TV numerous times in the background of the pre and post show. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe and share your thoughts. This has been Major Push Wrestling, and here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Okay, let's try that again.
Right, pal.
Why?
Botch.
All right. Well, it was in the beginning. I'm not sure why it's not playing, to be honest, but thank you so much.
TKO strikes again.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell no.
Got copyrighted.
You got
All
copyright
right.
strike.
And
Have a
as
good night,
always,
folks.
we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.